Good God. What is going on, guys? Chris here. So, I already uploaded the spoiler video. So, obviously, if you have not watched the most recent episode of Game of Thrones, Season 8, Episode 3, I don't know the exact title, it might be The Battle of Winterfell. That's what it's been being coined as. So, if you haven't watched that episode, don't watch any of these videos. If you have, cool. That's why we're here. Oh my God. So, where to even begin? I already uploaded my reaction to the end of this episode because I don't know how. Okay, I don't know how, but it still shocked me. No idea how. So either way, let's go right into the beginning. Preparation for battle. I'm doing all of this off the top of my head because I'm trying to keep my feeling going into the video, so I don't have a bunch of notes. This is just gonna be, good God, I gotta let my dog go. Stop running back and forth. I'm trying to record a video. You're making me look unprofessional. Good God. The battle starts, right? That's where we're at. This entire episode is basically a battle for Winterfell, for the living. If they do not win here, hands down, the dead win. Hands down. So, to start off the battle, you have the living on one side, probably about 90,000. I did the math, quick math, they had about 90,000. Other side, White Walkers, you have about 100,000 plus unknown. Daenerys and Jon fly to the side to watch. There's a whole plan. And they send in, Melisandre comes back. First thing to think about. she starts enchanting a dude's, what is it called? It's not a sickle. The Dothraki weapon, right? She starts enchanting it and all of a sudden, bam, all of them light up with fire. Sick moment, sick scene. You're feeling good. And then they send the Dothraki in, which I do not understand because you cannot see what they're fighting yet. So it does not make sense for me to send our entire cavalry in of 20,000, 30,000 Dothraki with horses and lighted weapons when you don't even know what you're fighting yet. I did not understand that. I did not understand the tactics of it. I do understand that horses and cavalry are not used in defensive strategies. They're used in flanking. They're used in just overrunning people. And as far as we knew from lore and just from the way people talk and what we've kind of seen in a few battles, Dothraki just steamroll everybody. They are the most, is that fair to say? Yeah. I'm gonna say it. They are the most intimidating ground unit in Westeros, Essos, everything. Everybody was like, if they came with a Dothraki army, they win. And they get slapped in about 25 seconds. 30,000 now gone. Any numbers we take away from the living, we add to the dead because they can be re-raised. And now the dead have about 130,000 plus unknown. And the living now has about 60,000 left. No more cavalry. The dead start rushing in like a fucking tidal wave. Literally a tidal wave versus the Unsullied, the Knights of the Vale, just every living troop that came, pretty much besides the Lannisters and the Golden Company. Literally, I think pretty much every army was up there. And they seem to be doing okay-ish, not great. And then the fire from our dragons, from Viserion. Nope, sorry. Viserion is the dead one. Rhaegal and Drogon start coming through. Looks pretty good. But as they are blowing up the whites, you get to see a full kind of illuminated view of how many dead there are. And it is like an endless wave behind the waves they are going through, right? So they start losing. So we start seeing some individual battling from every one of our main and side main characters. The first, and I'm sorry, like I said, I don't have anything in front of me right now. because I'm just doing this off a whim because I uploaded the reaction. The reaction video is doing great. And we lose the Night's Watch. I feel so bad for not remembering his name. But Sam and John and the Night's Watch guy, the guy they've been with since the beginning, the guy that's always stuck with John. I feel terrible for not remembering his name, so I apologize. He's our first main-ish character death. They start, breaching the defenses. The living start retreating back into the castle. They light the moat, the barricade they have temporarily stops the White Walkers. Nope, the Whites, not the White Walkers, sorry. The White Walkers don't even move. They send a cloud snowstorm to impair the vision of the dragons, make him not able to see and not be as effective. So they're just chilling in the back. They don't even ride up. They're just like, yeah, we know what's going to happen. That's literally how they're acting. So literally the dragons are running into each other. Rhaegal and Drogon are running into each other. Jon and Daenerys can't see the signal to light the barricade on fire. So Melisandre walks out, does her business, lights it all on fire. That's when you get the reveal that the Night King is there. The Night King did not go to King's Landing. He is there. He's just chilling way up above. He signals or something. He gives them the direction. They somehow get it telepathically. Not really sure how. And they start building bridges of each other to get over the barricade. Fighting ensues. Long story short, they breach the walls. We've basically lost every single soldier at this point. Not like really, but I mean like we're down to so minimal numbers, like it does not matter. It's not out of question that the living can still win, but it's getting close. So we just see constant battle sequences with all of our main characters. Brienne is saving Jaime, and then Jaime saving somebody, and it's just a constant thing of our main character surviving. We get to go into the Arya, kind of running and hiding scene. It turns a little bit into more of a horror scene. That is what influences the Hound to stop being a baby and get in there, because he just, when it comes to Arya, he sets fear aside. It's just what happens. So him and Beric Dondarrion, flaming swordsman, go running in, save her. Beric Dondarrion dies. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. I think I am. He dies. It gets Arya and the Hound in there, and then Melisandre is there, and she's like, this is why he died. I remember you. He did his deed. So according to how the story is going, the Lord of Light obviously must be some real entity. We don't really know his goal, I guess, but obviously it's on the team of the living. So he dies, and Melisandre is like, he did what he had to do. He fulfilled his role in this. And then they retouch on the fact that she said she would kill somebody with like brown eyes, green eyes, and blue eyes. So, spoiler alert, I thought when she said blue eyes, it was just like, maybe it's Cersei in the future. And maybe there's not going to be a future, but she's killed a bunch of White Walkers. White Walkers have blue eyes. Or whites, at least. Whites have blue eyes. There you go. Prophecy fulfilled. And that's the end of the scene of you seeing Arya and the Hound and Melisandre, and they have a bunch of whites right outside the door. Cut away. Let's go back to the fighting. You start getting the dragon battle. Rhaegal and Viserion are fighting a dragon battle midair. Rhaegal's getting torn up quite a bit, but it's kind of a mutual fight. They're entangled. And then Drogon comes in. Drogon is much bigger than the other two dragons, so Drogon, I think, just kind of grabs him and throws him off. Night King goes flying down. Just see you later. And so we're like, oh, you don't know. And then you don't really see Rhaegal from then. So I think we're assuming Rhaegal died. Viserion you don't see either, but Viserion, spoiler alert, does not die. Okay. Daenerys flies down with Drogon. Fire right on the Night King. I'm sitting here, I'm like, there's no way it could have been that easy, but, whatever. Like, Game of Thrones surprises me quite often. So, you know what? He could just die in the fire. That's the good thing about the way they write is sometimes the expected is the unexpected. So I'm like, that could work. And then since I'm thinking that so often, sometimes I get the unexpected. And sometimes I get the expected. He just does it so often and changes it up so often that I'm usually wrong either way. So either way, I was right in this instance, and my man, the Night King, just standing there like, well, I guess we found out the answer to Dragonfire is he's too cold, or I don't know, but doesn't do it. And all of a sudden you see Jon on the ground as well. And it's too cliche, I get it, but I so wanted just a 1v1 right there, living versus dead, whoever wins, wins. He goes after the Night King. Drogon starts getting attacked by about 6 million whites. Dany falls off. We think Drogon might be dead at that point. Dany's about to die. Jorah shows up. Battles ensue. Jorah takes about 67 stabs, saving Daenerys, as he would. As he would. We lose Jorah. I know that's a little bit later, but just to skip on it, we lose Jorah. When they breach the gate, we lose Lady Mormont, but she takes down a giant like a fucking badass. She had to go out that way. She did. I was accepting of her exit by taking out a giant first. Makes sense. Rest in peace. But that's when the Night King is just like, well, this isn't going to be a 1v1. This is going to be a 80 more thousand to 1. So right there I knew. Right there there is no... Before I was about 10% sure, okay, they could come back. Something could happen. Right there where he raised everybody back up, there is no chance they win. And not only there's no chance they win, there is no chance the living ever win a war. They could win a battle, they cannot win a war. They have to take out the Night King. Or at least a good chunk of the White Walkers. But there's no way. The White Walkers start coming in, the Whites start coming in, all the people get raised. So now, it turned from, maybe the White Walkers lost, 40, 50,000. But now they've gone right back up to 100,000 plus. Don't even know. Can't keep track at this point. And the Night King just starts walking in towards the area where Bran is staying, with Theon and the rest of his crew protecting him. They're doing a very good job. Theon is defending him very well. Jon is trying to fight his way through everything. Jorah is still protecting Daenerys. You see glimpses of all the other people still trying to fight and save each other. It's not looking good. It's not. And then so the Night King starts walking in. Jon Snow's trying to get there. It's showing battle sequences similar to Battle of the Bastards, where there's just chaos surrounding Jon as he's trying to get in to save Bran. There's now a dragon in between him and Bran, and he's trying to get past him, maybe trying to kill him, changing his mind because he can't save Bran if he's dead. So we get to that point, and the Night King walks in. Theon is now the only remaining person alive. Bran very adequately and very nicely and very appropriately says, "Thank you, Theon, you are a good man," which is great. I think Theon really needed to hear that. I think Theon's redemption story was finally finished. And he goes after the Night King. Night King takes one step to the side, breaks it, kills him, and we lose Theon. Rest in peace, Theon. I'm glad his story ended the way it did. He goes up to Bran, and for a very brief moment, I'm trying to run through my head. Actually, first of all, he was still warged, which I was confused about. Bran is the smartest person by far in this world. He knows everything that's ever happened is happening. He can warg, and he's still warged by the time the Night King's coming in. And I was talking to my friend, and I was like, what is he doing? Is he warged into Ghost? Did Ghost not die? Why would he still be in a Raven? Could he be in a dragon? And then he comes to, right as it's happening, right before Theon goes and dies. And then the Night King walks up to Bran. There is nobody in between him and Bran anymore. And for a brief moment, they both just kind of look at each other, and I was like, I swear to God, if they both smile or something, and we find out that it's actually a myth that they were enemies. They've kind of always just been together from the ancient beginnings, and like maybe they're connected more than just like not in an enemy way, but like yeah, let's work together way. And I was almost going to be pissed. In my head, as I was thinking about that, I was like, there's no way, that wouldn't make sense. And I was basically talking myself out of it, but I didn't know how it was going to go. And then the part that I'm kind of not confused on, but I'm questioning, is how Arya got where she was. The courtyard that she walked into was surrounded by White Walkers. So I'm like, did she cut off one of the White Walkers or White's face and somehow get there? That's unexplained. There's some theories going around Twitter right now of that exact thing. Like, was she a White Walker? Was she a White? Was she, what did she dress up? Did she use the faceless man motive to get there, or did she just somehow sneak in? Either way, spoiler again, Arya dives in. The Night King instantly turns around, grabs her by the throat. She has her Valyrian steel dagger that Bran gave her in her hand. I'm sitting here with the anticipation that we lose Arya. I don't know how or why. I do not expect this, because it's very fitting for the story, and it seems like something they would do. Arya does the same thing she did in training with Brienne last season, drops the dagger from one hand, catches it in the other, stabs him where he got turned into the Night King in the first place, and the whole army's dead. Just like that, fight over. Jon staring in the face of Viserion, the ice dragon. All these people are literally the tombs. I didn't talk about this. The crypts, the safest place in Winterfell, was getting overrun with people that were being raised, old Starks, which I still don't really understand. Doesn't make sense to me. I don't like it as a plot. Because if he can just raise people from crypts and whatnot, why couldn't he just raise wildlings from the ground as he was walking through the billions of people that have probably died in Westeros over the past 1,000 years? Why couldn't he just raise all of them if he can? I don't know. So that part didn't semantically, mathematically, scientifically make sense to me, but I guess it doesn't need to because it's a fantasy story. So kind of bothered me, but not enough to make me ever criticize the show. The show is too good. So Arya just straight up slaps down the Night King. I don't know how I was shocked. She wasn't even. That's how you can tell there's good writing. She was not even in my mind in terms of who saved it. I'm like, okay, maybe Jon can get there. Maybe he's gonna, maybe he's gonna get burnt by the dragon, but find out he's unburnt as well because he does have Targaryen blood in him. So like maybe he gets, the dragon just tries to kill him and then it doesn't work, and then he comes through, throws his sword. I don't know. I'm thinking of all these scenarios, and then Arya just comes in, drops this. Yep, you watched it, hopefully. And we lose Jorah a few moments later. He didn't get any last words, which was kind of disappointing to me. I would have liked for him to have some last words for Daenerys or something. But now we're in the end game. Now we're in the I was expecting to lose way more main characters than we did. 100% honesty. Is George R.R. Martin's biggest battle. I expected to lose a lot more. We did lose a good chunk. We did lose, 5, 6 or so main characters. But we didn't lose anybody, that would kind of make me be like, oh, how does their story end, though? So I'm glad we're going to get a lot of ends to the story. We're going to get another sequence of how this works with Cersei and all that stuff, and I'm glad. I'm glad we're going to get that. If you guys enjoyed this video, that episode, go check out my reaction video to the part I mentioned where Arya kills the Night King. That is obviously the most reaction-worthy video edit. So that's all I put in that video. This is just the breakdown. Go check out that video. Be sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys next week. It's going to be nuts. Okay, bye.